This is KGW News at Sunrise.
We want our employees whole. You know, it's a tough situation for them not being able to work. You know, everything's really expensive right now, so it's difficult.
A fire last weekend at Heidi's in Gresham leaves the restaurant shut down and its employees out of work. While investigators are still working to determine the cause, the owner, who we just heard from there, believes it was intentionally set. Coming up, we'll share what he's doing to help his workers. Plus,
there are days where it feels like drinking through a garden hose. I mean, you know, we're arresting drug dealers at night as fast as we can, and it seems like we'll arrest someone and within, 30 minutes there's somebody else back out.
Portland police have got their hands full trying to tackle the fentanyl crisis in downtown Portland. Some people living in the city have had enough and have decided to leave. Coming up, how Portland police are trying to stop fentanyl use at the source.
also this morning, I think we all know, you're supposed to renew your car's registration before your tags expire.
Get out.
Yeah, true story, Rod. But how many people stay on top of that? Actually, the question today is, how many people are not keeping up with that? Chris McGinnis delivers a registration investigation coming up in a new edition of his Driving Me Crazy series.
Yeah, he actually walked around the neighborhood taking shots of all the expired tags.
We blurred them so that we didn't want to out anybody specifically, giving people the benefit of the doubt, but come on.
Did anyone ask you at the time, what are you doing?
No, I was
he was covert.
Really undercover.
I did it in the darkness of night. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll have that in a moment. But first, Rod, what you got for us today?
All right, weather-wise, here we go. Scattered showers lighting up the radar pretty good right now. The flow pattern is still south to north. The overall weather setup is very similar to yesterday. There's one important change. See the bright colors up here in northern Clark County up into Cowlitz County? We didn't have any bright colors on the radar yesterday, meaning it was mostly light or gentle rain. But today there's some more. We fire up the possibility that you'll get caught in a downpour. You'll maybe be running between the store and your car, that type of thing. There's at least a chance of some thunder mixing in at times today. We've had lightning down in Northern California and also down in the valley around Medford this morning. Visibility's fine coming into town. Temperatures are fine as well, 44 degrees. Now, we do expect, like yesterday, to open up some sun at times, and that would get us back up into the 50s, 50 at noon. I have us 54 at 5 p.m. It's above freezing out in the gorge, and Chris, when I look, the Cascade Passes look to be in pretty good shape as well, sir.
Yeah, better shape than yesterday for sure. You know, Rod, I had a downpour on my way in, and then when I got to the station, the moon was out. So it's just like you said, scattered showers, right? There you go. We are a little wet on the roads here in North Portland, but so far moving right along. That's I-5 at Marine Drive. Traffic on the Sylvan Hill, very, very light. Highway 26, that is, in the Banfield. Interstate 84, a little bit of road spray out there. But guys, so far no crashes, no unexpected freeway delays just yet.
All right, thanks for that update, Chris. Top story this hour. Investigators are working to determine what caused the fire that shut down Heidi's in Gresham this past weekend. The owner says it's the second time in 3 years that the decades-old restaurant has caught fire.
Right, but this time Heidi's is not the only business that was damaged. KGW's Catherine Cook has the story.
Fire started down in the bottom left there.
You can still smell smoke outside Heidi's restaurant in Gresham. Charred plywood and melted fencing hang off the backside of the Gresham landmark.
Burnt all the way through. They had to do a hole in the roof to make sure there was no attic fire going.
Owner Sam Hinshaw says the fire started early Sunday morning. It destroyed several freezers and some other equipment, but fortunately crews had the flames out before they spread inside.
And they thought it to be intentional outside of the building started. It's an unfortunate thing.
Fire officials tell KGW this was one of several fires in the area that morning, all under investigation. Another fire started across the street at the Dragon Palace restaurant. The owner shared this security video with us. You can see the fire burning several trees along the back fence. Here's what's left of them now. For Hinshaw and other business owners, it's all a gut punch.
We're strategizing how to not be affected and not spend gross amounts of money on thievery and, arson. So it's tough.
A few years ago, Hinshaw says someone lit a fire in their bathroom. He says the person had been loitering and was asked to leave before returning disgruntled. Last week, he says someone stole equipment from this construction site next door, and the list goes on.
Someone ripped out our door trying to steal our ATM, and it's just kind of countless things that happen. It's just kind of never ending, it feels like.
Heidi's has been here for more than 50 years now. And while times are changing, Hinshaw says his focus remains on his employees, now out of work until the restaurant reopens. He started this GoFundMe, hoping to offset their financial burden.
And I think that's just the biggest thing, is that we want our employees whole. You know, it's a tough situation for them not being able to work. You know, everything's really expensive right now, so it's difficult.
That was Catherine Cook reporting. The owner of Heidi's says he hopes to reopen the restaurant by Thursday. If you have any information related to the fire, call Gresham Police.
Police have stepped up patrols on a specific corner of downtown Portland to crack down on fentanyl dealers. So the corner we're talking about here is 10th and Jefferson. And just yesterday, officers arrested a man with outstanding warrants who was smoking fentanyl there on the sidewalk. Officers have made nearly a dozen arrests in that part of downtown in just the last 2 weeks. We spoke to a neighbor who lives nearby, as well as a member of the Portland Police Bike Squad, about what seems to be a never-ending cycle.
I mean, there's like feces and vomit and urine everywhere. Like, it just doesn't feel safe anymore at all.
We're arresting drug dealers at night as fast as we can, and it seems like we'll arrest someone and within 30 minutes there's somebody else back out.
People don't have real consequences for their actions here, so I feel like that might contribute as to why people will keep staying in this vicious cycle.
Portland Police says they're focused on stopping the sale of drugs, which is a felony under Oregon law, as opposed to drug use in public, which at this point is not a crime.
New data from the CDC show that Oregon tops the list in the rate of overdose deaths that we're seeing in the state. Numbers show Oregon and Washington have seen a sharp rise in people overdosing and dying over the past few years. In CDC data from September of 2022 to September of last year, Oregon saw an increase of more than 41.5%. Washington came in just under that percentage.
We have just learned that Oregon is number one in the country for increase in opioid fatalities and fentanyl-related fatalities. Number one rate of increase in death in the country. This is alarming, and these are real people. And the disparity I see between what real people are experiencing and then what happens in this boardroom it's staggering and it's unconscionable.
This comes as lawmakers work to reform Measure 110. Co-chairs of the Joint Committee on Addiction and Community Safety Response released a statement saying they're working hard on a plan. So the statement reads, in part, you can see it on your screen, inaction is not an option. This is another sobering reminder of why we have to keep our communities safe and save lives.
The union, representing thousands of grocery store workers all across the Northwest, says it supports the proposed merger between Kroger and Albertsons. If this merger goes through, Albertsons, Safeway, QFC, and Fred Meyer would all be owned by the same company. In order to make this deal happen, there's an agreement in place to sell off 400 stores in order to keep the market competitive. C&S Wholesale Grocers wants to buy those stores, so the union met with C&S leaders and says it's convinced the company would be good for both its members and customers. There is still one big sticking point here. The Attorney General in Colorado and in Washington have sued to block the merger, so it's still not a done deal.
And check this out, it's National Future Farmers of America Week, and Clackamas High celebrated with some cute baby farm animals yesterday. Look at that one. The North Clackamas FFA held its annual Red Barn Baby Day. It's a free community event. Animal stations in the barn included facts about the FFA and the importance of the agricultural industry.
If there's no agriculture, there's no food on your table. So I think a lot of people forget about that sometimes, and it's just something that we want to bring back to our community.
Today I came with my friends, and we've been looking at all the animals, and we've just been having a good time.
Yeah, glad Hudson there had a good time. Donations were also collected for the Wichita Center in Milwaukee, which helps local families with clothing, food, and housing.
Man, my big takeaway there, listening to Hudson, like in that quick moment, I thought, I wish I was that age again.
Right?
Kids out there having a great time.
So simple.
Here we are, waking up early, coming to work every day.
I'm too old to go back and do it all over again. Too tired to do it all over again is what I meant to say.
The walk back in time would be exhausting.
Too much. All right, you're going to see a lot of this map and the one following in the coming days as I really kind of sound the alarm or ring the bell, if you will, for this strong front coming in out of the Gulf of Alaska on Sunday into Sunday night. Again, here's the air mass map in purple showing on Sunday the air coming in from the Gulf of Alaska, really cold stuff up to Canada. It is a westerly flow pattern for us, which makes it that much more difficult to get snow down to the lowest elevations. Now, it can happen with super cold air, and there are models that suggest that this will be a super cold batch of air, while other models are like, well, yeah, low snow levels, but not all the way down to the valley floor. So still a lot of questions, but gaining confidence that this system will come in, it will be cold, and it will be strong. So my wording right now is at least snow below 1,200 feet, significant snow. That means if you live at 1,000 feet, maybe even lower than that, you should be on guard. Mount Hood, 20 to 36 inches setting up Sunday night through the day Tuesday. Coast range, a foot plus. Big time travel concerns there. Valley rain, 1.25 to 1.75. Snow, something we're at least watching as forecasters. And then the gusty west wind. So for example, right now in my own personal life, if you will, Monday afternoon I'm supposed to drive to Klamath and meet my tax lady. Well, my tax lady lives up in the hills of Klamath. So I'm already thinking she may cancel because she may not be able to get down out of the hills into town because of snow. So again, lots of eyeballs on the storm coming in. So Drew, just listen to me. You like my story, right? Thank you. All right. My tax lady lives up high. She may get stuck in snow. All right, we've got showers in Northern California, Oregon, Washington. We've got big time downpours already showing up. We talked about this yesterday, the fact that the difference in today's weather from yesterday is that we're going to have some downpours scattered about and maybe even a rumble of thunder. We're already seeing at least the downpours. 39 in Salem currently. It's 44 in Portland and Kelso. And everybody above them on the map, Bend, Burns, Spokane, everybody's above freezing this morning. That makes traveling that much easier, of course. Here's a Futurecast. You wouldn't expect us to time things out perfectly, but it is trying to hint that we could get, like yesterday, a big stretch of dry, sunny weather in the afternoon. Wouldn't that be a nice back-to-back treat if that happens? Heavy showers today and tomorrow will be in the 50s. There's that dry run. I do have a 60 on Friday. Have the rain developing Sunday. Right now on Monday in that Gulf of Alaska air, I've got a high of 42 degrees. That could get lower. We'll be back. More Sunrise in a moment.